All right, let me pose a question to you guys, and then I'm going to attempt to answer it myself. The question is simply this. It has to do with Henry Cejudo. How long can Henry sit on the sidelines calling different people out before he gets annoying? And I'll start at the end, okay? I'll give you my answer and I'll work backwards. He's not there yet. I feel that everything Henry has done from 249 forward has worked. The problem that I run into in trying to put the pieces of this puzzle together is, what is the end game? If the end game is not a game, it is very straightforward and is what he has told us, which is, thank you, I had fun, and goodbye. In conjunction with, I'm still out there, I'm still doing commentary with ESPN, I still have an interest in writing books, so I'm going to keep my name in the headlines and keep that fire as hot as I can and keep it burning for as long as I can. Man, he's a home run. He's nailed it. I've made just as many videos. I have discussed on my podcast just as many times Henry Cejudo since he retired as when he was fighting. Truth. He's interesting. He's fun. He's funny. He's never really been wrong. Like, he's calling for guys or saying, well, you're only the champion because I'm not here. He's making some of these threats. But when the guy's an Olympic champion and a world champion and a world champion again, it's kind of hard to question him. I also do think that there is a level of sincerity that we must take Henry's retirement with. Right? It was a little confusing at the time. Let me back you up to 249. Out of nowhere, he beats Dominic Cruz. Out of nowhere, he tells Dana, thanks, keep it real, I'm out of here. He then goes to a press conference 40 minutes later. Showers up, gets his paycheck, goes to a press conference, and then lacks like, well, you know, if Dana writes a big enough check, I'll be back. It's like, okay, well, I've seen this movie 20 times. You're negotiating through the public, and now you're feinting a retirement. I fully get it. Like, guys will say things right after a fight that you never want to hold them accountable for. BJ Penn beat somebody. I want to say it was Sean Shea. He beat somebody, though, and he licks the blood off of his gloves. I mean, as disgusting as that is, you can't really judge BJ. You're just on this high. You're on this adrenaline high. Guys just do things right in that moment, and they happen to be caught on camera. I bring you the BJ example because it's not like he's a vampire and he would have licked blood off his gloves in any other scenario. It's just one of these weird moments. So, okay, maybe Henry had a weird moment. Maybe he was going to really negotiate something and he went all the way to the edge and he'll walk this one back. Well, man, he gave the belt up and Dana didn't play around either. Dana said, I will take him at his word. I think it's a bad choice. I hope it's not the one he makes. But I'm going to be in a matchmaker meeting in 1 week and I'm going to go off of what he told me, including if that means putting a vacant title up for grabs. So, okay, both guys made their move. Henry had 1 week. Henry retired. And he moved on. I believe he's left the USADA pool. I can't confirm that. I believe he did. I believe he's very sincere in his retirement, but he was staying in the gym. And fighting is one of those things where it might sound like a cool thing to do. It might. Some people might think it sounds weird. But we can at least agree it's a very difficult thing to do. It is not a hobby. You do not have guys who, as a hobby, as a way to stay in shape, go in the gym and get punched in the face and kicked in the leg and kneed in the chest. I mean, they just don't. They're doing it for a very specific reason, which is I'm getting ready to do this in battle in front of the world for esteem, prestige, and a paycheck. I mean, it's one of these things, but he was staying in the gym. So I talked to Henry some meaningful amount of time ago, but his 249, his retirement was a period of time ago. I think that was in March, April, May, even. It might have been, I think it was May now that I'm saying this. And Henry said, man, I'm looking at boxing. There's this guy, Ryan Garcia, and they're talking about doing something in the Middle East. I think I'm going to go box this guy. And then I see Henry a while later on like an Instagram, and he's in the gym with Mike Tyson. He's working on some stuff, and Henry moves really good, and he hasn't gained any weight. I'm going, well, this guy's still working hard. He's going to do something. I don't know what it is, but he's going to do something. So then he calls out everybody in the sport. He's calling out Volkanovski, and he's calling out Peter Young, and he's coming after Aljo. And it's just one of these. Now Lomachenko loses to Lopez, and Henry's going to come beat up Lopez. And it's one of these things where I have concluded on my own and through actions and words by Henry Cejudo that there is a level part of this that is very sincere, but there is still that question that he has of, do I want to be done? I realize I said I'm done. I realize it appears I'm done. I realize I have accomplished things that nobody else will ever accomplish. Nobody can ever be the youngest American to win an Olympic gold medal and then go and be a UFC champion in 2 different weight classes the first time again. By example, he will always have the record of being the first to have done. I mean, there's certain things that Henry's done just simply can't be questioned. So if you're going to come back, why are we coming back? A championship is not enough. It's not enough when you have as many as he has. A cash grab, sure. Everybody could relate to that. And there would be a big cash grab there, particularly the way he's keeping himself interesting, pissing off the right guys while getting headlines doing it. Okay. But when's that going to happen? Right? He's 33 years old. If he's 35, if he's 36, we're not even having this conversation. He is now done. But not at 33, not at 33 and a half, not at 34. I do not know the answer to my own question of how far can Henry do this. I want to take your guys' temperature. But I am comfortable in my statement that he's not there yet. He is still interesting. He's still funny, and he's still right. There are people who are champion right now because he left. How long will that be true? There's only one way to find out.